Alright guys, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander. We are going to be looking at another game featuring my Halfdane deck, which is essentially Shapeshifter and Clone Tribal. Let's take a look at our opponents here. First we got Phelddagrif, the Happy Hippo. Typically group hug, but not always. Can sometimes throw in some painful cards as well, so we'll see what Phelddagrif has. Vela. Every Vela deck I've come up against hasn't been that great, but I recently found out that there's like infinite combos. If you can make a bunch of tokens and sacrifice them, you can wipe the board with this. I haven't seen that happen yet. Most of the decks I've seen have some sort of like ninja component where they bounce a bunch of creatures back and forth, similar to my old Sig River Cutthroat deck. So we'll see what Vela brings here today. And then Zedruu likes to donate stuff that hurts you. Like Steel Golem and Illusions of Grandeur and stuff like that. So we'll see about that as well. Right now I've got no lands in this hand, so I go ahead and send it back. This one has 3 lands. But the problem is all my good spells are blue. So I think I send this back as well. I do. And instead of going down to 4, I decide, you know what, I'm just going to stick with the 2 lands that I've got here. This is a worse hand than what I gave up earlier, but screw it, I'm just going to stick with it. So, Zedruu starts off with the first turn Goblin Cadets, which is something that she's more than happy to donate. Luckily, I draw a Hollowed Fountain, and we go from there. Nobody's missing land drops. Zedruu plays Avenger and Doll, which is actually a pretty sweet card that I always think about using, you know, because you get to exile something that attacks and you gain life. Or, well, you don't gain life, but you know, it's not bad for dealing with creatures that are a pain in the butt. And then Zedruu attacks the Phelddagrif player. So I draw Mortify. I'm really hoping to draw another land here soon. Invisible Stalker for Vela. Pithing Needle comes out, naming Phelddagrif. And Zedruu attacks the Phelddagrif player again. I draw another land, but no swamps. So what we've got is a Zedruu player that doesn't like group hug deck, and Zedruu or Phelddagrif looks like it's going to be group hug with Veteran Explorer. Liliana's Spectre pops out and makes me discard something. I decide to discard Vampire Nighthawk, mainly because it's got 2 black in it and I'm not going to be able to cast it soon. That's the Spectre right there, making everybody discard. Zedruu plays Steel Golem, so Zedruu's going to be playing some of the more mean cards, you know, that it can donate. Interesting thing about that is that, oh, and I get attacked, is that this means that Zedruu cannot play her commander. So I draw a Chroma. I'm not going to be casting her for a while. Some of the damage gets spread out. And so Vela ninjas Mistblade Shinobi out and bounces the Steel Golem back to Zedruu's hand. But that means that the Spectre is back in Vela's hand as well, which means she's going to make everybody discard. Again. Fogbank comes out. Goblin Cadets comes back out and attacks Vela. I draw another land. Again, no black sources. There's a Supreme Verdict, which is nice. It wipes the board of all this junk. None of these cards are very threatening by themselves, but you know, just like to clear the board every once in a while. It also kills the Veteran Explorer, which means I can get 2 black mana sources out there now. And Vela Vapor snags the Mistblade Shinobi back to her hand. I'm going to get my 2 swamps out. And Vela, once again, is going to cast Liliana Spectre. Again, Liliana Spectre gets cast like 1 or 2 more times as well. And this is actually what puts Vela on my radar, is just the fact that this happens over and over and over again. So I end up discarding Condemn. Not really sure why I discarded Condemn, but I figured why not. Zedruu comes out to play. Rhystic Study. At first I was thinking about casting a Chroma, but I don't think I had enough mana. Seed Guide Ash comes out, and people... Oh, and I get to draw. What I should have done was mortified that Spectre right then, before waiting for the untap. The Spectre started getting annoying, so I tried to mortify it now, but he negates it. Who knows if he had enough... if he had the negate in his hand already or not. And of course he's going to get ninja'd out for Higure. Higure is actually pretty cool. I like it. Who searches up Silent Blade Oni, which is awesome. The Phelddagrif player gets donated the Pithing Needle. Steel Golem gets cast. I draw some more cards. I finally am able to cast a Chroma, and I'm going to go after Vela, because Vela is just getting annoying. This is one of those instances where, like, having a Chroma in my deck works out well for me. So, Asperia Supreme Judge comes out for Phelddagrif, which is actually a nice little way of drawing some cards. Seed Guide Ash goes after me, and I decide not to block it just because I don't want Phelddagrif to ramp that much. I'm a little worried about Phelddagrif. She's not playing just strictly Group Hug, which makes her a little more dangerous. One of the other problems with a Chroma is that because it's legendary, I can't copy it, or else I'll kill it off. But I can copy any of these other guys, like Asperia. And again, Deadeye Navigator is going to be great for resetting my Evil Twin or my Quicksilver Gargantuan. So, Devastation Tide gets miracled into, and I don't know if you saw the chat that was going on here, but Zedruu is more or less saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I've got something for you," and he's basically threatening to dump something on me, but he can't do it now. The other interesting thing is that Vela's playing Nihil Spellbalm, which means that I can't really rely upon my graveyard for anything. Zedruu casts Pithing Needle again hitting Phelddagrif. So I'm going to go ahead and cast my Chroma again and go after Vela again, because Vela is just super annoying to me right now. Words of Wind, Wisdom, whatever. Hunted Lamassu. I love this card. I actually, back when Rav Block was in Standard, made a deck based around this guy, and he was friggin' great. A Standard deck, not a Commander deck. But he's a Lamassu. That's great. And he gave the Horror to Vela, which is super annoying, but you know, whatever. There's Liliana Spectre once again. I discard an island. And Zedruu gets attacked. Nobody's really hurting on life. Vela's down to like 26 just because I hit her a couple times. So she uses Higure to search up Sakashima Student. So Sakashima Student and Silent Blade Oni are both in Vela's hand. Illusions of Grandeur. So who's the question is, who's she going to donate it to? And right here I'm like, oh, she's at 56. Right? So first I play the Ingot. And I go ahead and attack Vela again. And I play Rhystic Study again. I'm waiting on the Intuition until the Nihil Spellbalm goes off. Fracturing Gust. Is going to take out all the enchantments and artifacts, including the illusions. So she donates the illusions to the Phelddagrif player. Nihil Spellbomb takes out my graveyard, and that actually knocks the Phelddagrif down 20 points to 21. And so Zedruu gets attacked by the Lammasu. There's a whole lot of like back and forth. Nobody's a clear threat at any point. So everybody's just kind of spreading damage around a little bit. Sakashima student copies a Chroma. This is the one time when somebody copied one of my creatures instead of me copying somebody else's creature. So a Chroma's running around out there again. And Higir searches up Ink Eyes, which is good to know about. And then Lily Span. This Spectre, I swear to God, comes back so much, it's ridiculous. And I finally get rid of Intuition. I'm just like, screw it. And Zedruu's pissed off at the Vela player. So he casts Pyromancer's Swath, which is a great donate card because at the beginning of each end step you discard your hand. So it's like a personal Jin-Gitaxias. And she tries to donate it, but the activated ability gets countered with a Void Mage Husher. So Zedruu ends up having to discard her hand. Which is a pretty cool play, I gotta admit. So I draw a Shadow Mage Infiltrator. I end up attacking the Zedruu player just to get her life total down to somewhat manageable size. And I cast my Shadow Mage Infiltrator. And then I cast Evil Twin copying Higir. Because like I've got enough shapeshifters in my deck that searching stuff with Higir is actually going to be good for me. Phelddagrif plays Sylvan Primordial. Okay. So then it's like the Primordial gets rid of Pyromancer's Swath, which I'm not sure I would have done that. Maybe I would have. I don't know. My Volrath Stronghold and one of the lands out here. And this is the problem with the deck, is that there's a lot of times when the Primordials are out there, this one's especially, and I'm like, okay, I can copy it a bunch of times, but it's not going to really help me too much unless there's a bunch of permanents out there that I want to get rid of, because I don't get to ramp with it. To me, the ramping is almost more important than the destruction ability of Sylvan Primordial. No attack. And the Vela player had connection problems and then disconnected. So she's gone. It's a little sad, actually, because she was a pretty good threat. Zedruu is going to start donating stuff so she can draw cards and gain some life. Now that I see Sylvan Primordial has come from the Phelddagrif player, I know she's not all huggy and stuff like that. So she's definitely on my list. However, so I'm going to send Higir and the Infiltrator up against Phelddagrif and a Chroma against Zedruu. And Zedruu's like, why are you attacking me? And I'm like, because Primordial can block a Chroma. So first I use the Higir to search up Sakashima student, and then I draw a card, and I play the Gargantuan, copying the Primordial, just so I can have a blocker against the Hunted Lammasu, and so I can kind of slow down these guys with their land. I'm not really sure that was the best play, honestly. Like, I could have copied the Infiltrator and just had like guaranteed damage like that, but you know, whatever. Again, I don't get to ramp. Asperia comes back. That's right, I was holding back stuff for Asperia. And then Phantasmal Image copies Sylvan Primordial again. So yeah, what I really should have done was Quicksilver Gargantuan my Shadow Mage Infiltrator. It was a mistake. Lammasu goes after Zedruu, so Zedruu's down to 29. I'm at 30. Phelddagrif's at 14. But, you know, Zedruu's actually able to draw a couple extra cards. False Prophet comes out. Okay, so then it's the question of, you know, do you want to attack into the False Prophet or not? No, I don't want to. I make Hager unblockable again. And basically I'm attacking into the Asperia, and Phelddagrif's able to draw some cards. But what I do is I use Sakashima's Student to balance my Shadow Mage Infiltrator to make to get more damage in against Phelddagrif, because I'm more worried about Phelddagrif right now than I am about Zedruu. Zedruu's kind of mana hosed now. So I search up Cairn Wanderer just because it's having another card in hand. I do like having Asperia because if somebody attacks me, I can draw some cards. So it is kind of a group HUD deck. I mean, there's Indentured Djinn. It's rare you see this card. Each other player can draw 3 cards. I'm going to take advantage of that. I get Mirroring Crusader, Duplicate, and Clone, and then Font of Mythos comes out. So Phelddagrif's at 5. The Lamassu and Asperia both go after Zedruu, knocking him down to 13. But he gains a life and gets to draw a bunch of cards. So first he plays Solitary Confinement, which skips his draw step. Fine, you know, now we can't really kill him because all of us have damage based upon creatures right here. And I don't have anything in my hand that can get rid of the Solitary Confinement, which is a good card if you're able to support it with something like Zedruu. Yeah. And then she's got Jinxed Idol. Not really sure, or Jinxed Ring, not Jinxed Idol. You know, whatever, I'm not really worried about it. So I'm drawing a bunch of cards off the font. I don't want Phelddagrif to draw into more cards because she's only got 1 card in hand. At this point, I'm just going to send everything against him. First, I'm going to duplicate one of the blockers, just to make sure my damage gets through. I just want Phelddagrif off the table, especially because I know that she's going to be able to draw into a couple cards right now. So I send my whole team against her. The fat hippo, whatever. She blocks a couple guys, and I end up killing him. Fine. So I search up another changeling, and let's move this up here just in case you guys want to see a little more. There we go. I get Shapesharer, because eventually what I'm going to have to do is attack into False Prophet. And he can also sacrifice False Prophet to the Jinxed Ring whenever he wants to. Achroma's in my graveyard, and so I play Phyrexian Reclamation. I put Greaves on, and we'll see. I mean, right now I can't do anything. So... Well, I remember what I'm going to do. That's right. I'm going to force his hand because I want to be able to actually get the False Prophet out of the way before I deal with the Solitary Confinement. First, I play Deadeye Navigator, and what I'm going to do is duplicate the False Prophet to make him actually get rid of it. I still have a decent number of cards in my hand, and he's going to sacrifice his False Prophet. I lose Deadeye Navigator, I lose Duplicate, and I lose some other stuff, but you know what? It's just got to be done. So I play my Infiltrator, and I put Greaves on it, and I forget to attack. Oh no, I don't attack because Solitary Confinement's still out there. And then he Zeniths for a couple of cats. Unfortunately, my blockers can't kill the cats, but whatever. I get attacked, I block 1, I drop down to like 24. I get Venser. Okay, so now my plan is I'm going to have to ultimate Venser if I can, which means I'm going to have to put blockers out there and then use Venser and start trying to ultimate him, ideally, at some point. So I put out a couple blockers, including Halfdane. I bounce my Crusader. Fine. But Zedruu's still drawing cards. And is stuck. So I'm going to copy Zedruu. Hey, look at Demonic Tutor. Sweet. Right? So I'm going to search up Revoke Existence. Hopefully he doesn't have a counterspell. So I revoke the Solitary Confinement. Fine. And then he Blue Sun Zeniths himself because he had Shroud and he wasn't able to use it until I got rid of the Solitary Confinement. So I'm going to get a Chroma out of the graveyard and cast her and attack with everything. So basically what I want to do now, he throws 2 cats and Zedruu in front of my Crusader, which is fine because I want to kill Zedruu so that he can't keep drawing or gaining life. But I am able to get 7 damage in. And I keep I use Venser to bounce the Shadow Mage Infiltrator to give him like pseudo vigilance. So now Venser's got 7 loyalty, but what I'm gonna really want to do is use his -1 ability here soon. Here's the problem. He tries to juxtapose, and instead of giving up a Chroma, I sacrifice it to the Jinxed Ring, which gives him the Jinxed Ring, and then he gets my Darksteel Ingot and doesn't get my Chroma, and then he casts Bizarre Trader. However, I still have Phyrexian Reclamation, so I can still... He attacks me, but I have a blocker. I draw a Dimir Doppelganger. I pull a Chroma back out. I don't really copy a whole lot of stuff in this game. This game is all about like reusing a Chroma. And when I cast Shapesharer and I make everything unblockable, and I've got Greaves, I can put Greaves on the Shapesharer, and I've got he's at 10. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's enough. I'm able to pull off the win due to Venser's -1 ability. And that's the game. Oh, he conceded because he saw the writing on the wall. 17 turn game. This deck does not win quickly when it wins. But you know, a little bit of graveyard recursion, some big beats, a couple of copying things. I copied a Sylvan Primordial. I could have done more. But there we go, a win. Alright, thanks guys.